Next, we have Hoffmann's exhaustive alkylation. Now, students, these are the continuation of Hoffmann's ammonolysis. Now, we have already learned that ammonia, if it is in excess, we get predominantly primary amine. So, what do you mean by alkylation of amines? Introduction of an alkyl group. So, the process of introducing an alkyl group into a molecule is called as alkylation. Now, here it is amines are for Hoffmann's alkylation. Why exhaustive? Because excess of alkyl halides are used. So the replacement of hydrogen atom of amines by an alkyl group is called as alkylation of amines. So when a primary amine is treated with excess of alkyl halide, donation of lone pair, nucleophilic substitution with the loss of HX will result in the formation of a secondary amine R2NH. Further reacts with excess of alkyl halide, again with the loss of HX will result in the formation of a tertiary amine. Tertiary amine can be converted finally into quaternary ammonium salt. With the excess of alkyl halide will give you the correspondingly tetraalkyl ammonium salt. So can also be written as R4N plus X minus. So tetraalkyl, what you call as quaternary ammonium salts. So when treated with excess of alkyl halide, primary amine undergoes alkylation to give you a mixture of secondary, tertiary and finally quaternary ammonium salt. This alkylation generally proceeds by SN2 mechanism, nucleophilic substitution mechanism. So if alkyl halide is used in excess, you will get a mixture of all the possible products. This is called as exhaustive alkylation. So ammonia excess, you will get predominantly primary. If alkyl halide excess, you will get the mixture of all the possible amines. So final product has to be quaternary ammonium salt. Next, we take an example, or when an excess of alkyl halide, if you take the generalized discussion, we have primary amine will consume 3 moles of alkyl halide. 3 moles of alkyl halide will give you quaternary ammonium salt. Now shortcut is primary amine has 2 hydrogen atoms. So 1 degree amine. Primary amine has 2 hydrogen atoms. It results in the formation of first secondary followed by tertiary and then quaternary ammonium salt. Quaternary ammonium salt. So 2H, it will consume 3 moles of alkyl halide, will give you quaternary ammonium salt. Now if it is a secondary amine, it should have 2 alkyl groups. Shortcut is it will give you only, or it contains 1 hydrogen atom. 1 hydrogen atom will consume 2 moles of alkyl halide to form quaternary ammonium salt. And what if it's a tertiary amine? Tertiary amine will consume 1 mole of alkyl halide to give you quaternary ammonium salt. So excess of HI formed during this reaction can be neutralized by the base like NaHCO3, sodium bicarbonate. So if you summarize it, primary amine, secondary amine and tertiary amine will consume 3 moles, 2 moles and 1 mole respectively. 1 mole respectively to form quaternary ammonium salt, generalized represented as QAS. Next, we have Hoffmann's elimination reaction. Now, before elimination reaction, we can take an example of correspondingly excess of alkyl halide. What we have is, suppose if you take an example, C2H5, C2H5, C2H5NH2, C2H5-NH2. So ethylamine, and if they ask you what is the action of excess of CH3Br, on ethylamine, and what is the final product? Now we know, students, primary amine we have 2 hydrogen, therefore it will consume it will consume 3 moles of methyl bromide. 3 moles of methyl bromide. So ethylamine, if I directly write it as 3 moles of CH3Br, so final product should be C2H5N, and this would be CH3 thrice N plus and Br minus. So generalized term would be quaternary ammonium salt. So this is quaternary ammonium salt. Now if you want to name it C2H5, what you call it as ethyl. So this should be ethyl, and there are 3 methyl groups. So it should be ethyl trimethyl. Ethyl trimethyl N plus what you call it as ammonium. Ethyl trimethyl ammonium bromide. Trimethyl ammonium bromide. This was the first example. Now since excess of methyl bromide is used, the reaction can also be called as Hoffmann's exhaustive methylation. Why? Because methyl group is used, and methylation, the corresponding discussion would be methyl halide. Now in the second example, if they ask you C2H5-NH2 ethanamine, and if it is treated with excess of C2H5Br, again we know that ethylamine is a primary amine. It will consume 3 moles of C2H5. Now the best part is everywhere it is ethyl unit. So there are total 4 ethyl groups. So it should be called as C2H5 4 times N plus and Br minus. And N plus, we know that it should be called as ammonium. C2H5 is called as ethyl 4 times, therefore it should be called as tetraethyl ammonium bromide. Again, primary amine will consume 3 moles of alkyl halide to form quaternary ammonium salt. So if they ask you MCQs, we can directly analyze also. In the second example, I took ethyl bromide, ethanamine with ethyl bromide. Finally will give you tetraethyl ammonium bromide. Next what we have is